All right, let's take a look at some video that kind of illustrates some of the things to keep an eye on. So this one, take us through what we see here.
So here's the first cut you're going to get is what I think the Browns are still going to, in terms of what Todd Monk is going to do. This is a two tight end set with a wing. It's a heavy set. I still think the Browns need to prove they can stop the run. So right here, you're just going to get a basic counter look. Everybody talks about the pass rush. Everybody talks about Tomlinson. I still think the Browns need that force safety, and I still think they need a guy inside who's going to stop the run. So you're going to see a dose of this counter action. Monken did a lot of this at Georgia during his last stop when he was with the national champs. So you're going to see a lot of this, where you're going to see gap blocking, people blocking down. They're going to challenge the Browns. I think they're going to challenge away from Tomlinson, run at those speed rushers. Best way sometimes to kind of negate a Myles Garrett is to run right at him. So I think you're going to see a ton of this. You're going to see a ton of power football until the Browns show they can stop the run.
Yeah, and it becomes a bigger question, if you're not healthy at defensive tackle as well. Perrion Winfrey cut, so there's some concerns with what you have behind Tomlinson. This next clip, and I remember this game against the Dolphins where Lamar Jackson struggled. What do we see here?
You're going to get next couple of clips. Here's what you're going to get. So what I really like about Schwartz, obviously besides the matchups and besides playing, is that you're going to get a 4, 5, or 6-man front from Schwartz. What the Dolphins do here, Dolphins show 8 and they bring 6. And they did this 40 plus times during this game. Now, they bring different people, and oftentimes they just bring 5 and drop 3. Here they drop 2. What they did is they simulate pressure, and they bring pressure from all different angles. And they're going to bring 3 over 2 to a side with a tackle. They'll bring 4 over 3 with a tight end. But what they do is they cause confusion up top. And when the quarterback, no matter what quarterback it is, he's trying to set protection. He's trying to figure out who's coming. And the Dolphins did such a good job of it. So I think what you're going to see with Schwartz is you're going to see him show 6, 7-man protection and bring 4, but it'll be a different 4 all the time. So this example here, the Dolphins show 8 and they bring 6. And, and sometimes they'll bring 7, sometimes they'll bring 4. But for the most part, they're going to show and simulate and bring 4 guys from different areas.
And if you think about it, Lance, that makes a lot of sense to do with the mobile quarterbacks is not really tip where the pressure's coming from and who's dropping, because it negates the athleticism. He doesn't know where to run. He doesn't know where the escape lane is.
Well, yeah, and what the Browns have now is they have, with this forefront and with this one hi-hat safety, is they're going to get Delpit down in the box or Thornhill down in the box. Those guys will be the roles will be the same. They both can play, but I really see Delpit playing down in the box. So now you got Delpit, you got JOK, you got Walker, you got Phillips, you got these guys who could run. So you can also see, besides pressuring, you're going to see a guy who's going to have his eyes on Jackson, but it's a guy who can run. It's not a big Ophie linebacker, a B-gap to B-gap 230 guy. It's a guy who can run and kind of hopefully contain Jackson when he breaks the pocket. And they have a bunch of different guys that can do that, so they can bring guys from different angles and drop different guys. So, again, you're right. They won't know where it's coming from, and he won't know where to get out.
All right. The next clip we're going to look is from the Titans, and it's kind of simulating pressure, if you will.
Well, correct. So this is a good look that I think you'll see with the Browns. So you're going to get both. You're going to get both of the backers kind of up in A gap here. We call this a blood stunt. And basically, what you're doing is you have a nose, and you're showing these 2 guys in B gaps, in A gaps or B gaps, and basically they're walked up. And at the start of the play, there's a 6-man front. So the offensive line has to account for 6, whether they come or not. So this is a great look that I think you'll see with the Browns in terms of this is the nickel guy coming, a backer guy coming, outside backer coming. They can drop different people, they can blitz different people because of the skill set of those Delpits and the JOKs, the Juan Thornhills, the guys who can move, tackle, play in space, play in the box. So you're going to see this. It's a great look. This is the look you'll see from the Browns this year. They're going to show 6 and bring 4. Again, you don't know who's coming. You don't know what coverage it is, and they do a really good job of disguising, and the Titans did this really, really well. This is a playoff game from 2019.
The other thing that does, you can just look, it speeds up kind of the progression in the process that the quarterback's going through. That's just as effective as not allowing him to know where to escape. If you can speed up one of the mobile quarterbacks in terms of his thought process in the play.
Well, yeah, because you're showing 6. So whether you bring 6 or not, you're counting for 6. So the quarterback, he's got his clock has to get faster. So he assumes 6 is coming, so he's got to assume where is his hot, where is his out route. That's going back to what the Eagles did in 17. They worked the defensive line linebackers worked with the secondary because they know when pressure's coming or when they think is going to get pressure, and the secondary can jump routes. So I think this pressure plays into what the Browns do really well. They can pressure the quarterback really well, and they can cover it in the secondary. So, again, they're going to have to stop the run on first down, but then, I think that pressure is really going to be beneficial for them.
All right, last clip we're going to take a look at, and we know when you face the Ravens, you got to find a way to cover Mark Andrews.
So what you see here is that I think what Schwartz does end with matchup. So I know they've added OBJ. I know Zay Flowers. I really liked him coming out of the draft. I know they've added Aguilar. They've added some really good guys. But Lamar Jackson really likes to work Mark Andrews in this between the hashes on big third downs, big fourth downs, big, when he needs a play, he's looking for Mark Andrews because Mark Andrews is usually matched up against guys that either beat with size or beat with speed if it's a linebacker. What the Browns have is they have bigger guys that can run, JOK, Delpit. So not only can they match up with him size-wise, but they can also match up with him speed-wise. And I think what the Browns need to do, even if they take a Greg Newsome, they have to find Mark Andrews and cover him on big downs and make Lamar Jackson go somewhere else when they need a big play.
Yeah, the thing that comes to mind with Andrews too is Martin Emerson. He is big enough and physical enough that he might be able to hang with some of the tight ends.
Yeah, and once again, you got those interchangeable parts. So there's another guy, Martin Emerson, a guy who's long. He can run, so he's not going to get overpowered by Andrews on some of those option routes or where they kind of rub off each other. He's big enough to fight through that stuff, but he also runs well enough. And the Browns have a number of guys that can really, really do that. And again, because of the one high hat safety, whether he moves down to a slot or a tight end, he's still in man coverage. So again, I think Martin Emerson would be a great answer. You got JOK, you got guys who are big, strong, Delpit, Thornhill, guys who can cover, also playing on the box and helping the run if necessary.